Welcome everyone to the day 28. Today we're going to talk about few of the common methods which is available in the collection framework. Right, so we're going to talk about the collection uses, sorting, different methods. So let's try to see a high level overview and the uses of these kind of common functionalities available. Let's get started. Now since we have understood about the list data structure and how array list and linked list is there in the Java collection framework, and similarly about the set like hash set and the linked hash set, let's try to see what their uses could be, what are the different methods which is available in this collection, and how we can go and convert one type of a collection into the another. Right? Let's try to see with the help of example itself. So let me go and define another class here, and let me go and call it as collection usage. Right? So let me go and define this as called as collection usage. Fair enough. Let me go and also define a public static void main public string args. Great. So I'm inside this collection users class with the method public static void main string args. Now let's try to first of all understand few of the the inter conversions. What I mean to say is that let's say that I already have a set, right? So I want to say that set of integer set equals to new hash set. And for that I'll have to go and import hash set, and I'll also have to go and import the set. Fair. Let me go and add few entries like set dot add 23. Let me go and copy paste this multiple times. 11, 19. Now using this set, and let's say that I want to have to create a list of integer again. List equals to new array list. Right. Let me go and I'll have to go and import java.util.list. Now if I want, sir, that I already have a set and I want to go and convert this set into the linked list, what I'll have to do, I'll go and provide this set inside this constructor itself. So I'll just go and provide this as set, and once I'm done with this, I can simply go and if I go and print the list, you'll see that list will have all these elements. If I go and run this, you go and run this, run as Java application, and you see that all the numbers which were there in the set is now converted into the list. Similarly, if I want to go and convert a set from the list, we're going to find something called as a set of integer, and I go and call it as a new set equals to new hash set. I can just go and do this new set dot add. Sorry, I don't have to do it. So in this constructor, if I go and pass this list, and I go and print this sys out new set, and I go and run this, you get the same output, which is 19, 23 and 11. Right? So this is an example of the conversion of, you can go and convert a set into the list into the set. Let's try to talk about the few another usages or the different methods of the collection. Few common ones, there are so many others, but I'll just go and cover the few common ones, which is that. Let me first of all go and comment this code. Let's say that I go and define a array list of integer list 1 equals to new array list, and I have some elements in this list 1 dot add 5, h1 dot add 13, list 1 dot add 2. and then I have something called as the list 2, which is list of integer, which is final list, equals to new array list. Now what I'm trying to do here in this is that final list also will have some elements. So let me go and call it as final list. Final list dot add 52, 53, final list dot add 49, like this. What I want to do is that I want to go and add all the elements of this list into this second list, which is the final list, right? So as of now, if you see here, as of now, if I go and print final list, this is out. Final list. If I go and run this, the value will be 5349. Correct. I can actually go and add this list 1 into this final list. How can I do this? I'll just go and say that final list dot add all, and inside this I can go and add list 1. And after I go and do this, and I go into this out, and I go and say that final list, and run this, run as Java application, it will go and print me, right? So in this list 5349, I got added all these elements, and because of which it has become a bigger list. Fair enough. If I want, I can also go and remove the list. So I can go and simply go and say that final list dot remove all, and in this I go and pass that list 1. When I go and do this, sys out, and I go and pass here as final list. All the element which is there in the list 1 will get removed again. If I go and run this, you will see that again it is left 53 and 49. If I want to go and clear all the elements of this final list, I want to remove all of them. I have a method called as final list, and I can go and call it clear method. When I go and do this, all the elements of the final list is clear. If I go and now do this sys out, and I go and put this final list, run as Java application, you'll see that there is no element which is left. Now if I want to go and check if a list has the elements left or not, there is again a method for it. This is called as isEmpty, which returns boolean. So if I go in here, if I go and run check this method here at this point of time, and I go and say that final list dot isEmpty at this point, and again do it here later on, and if I go and try to run this run as Java application, at this point of time when I go and say that, it still has the elements, right? It still has the elements too. So when I go and run this, this is returning me false. But at this point of time when everything is clear, it is empty, when I go and run it, is returning as true. So these are the different methods that we go and apply to these collections, and it's very handy. There will be more methods. When you go and explore, you can go through the documentation, feel free to go through it, and you will find the more methods to iterate over all of these. There's another important way. For example, if you want to know through the code editor itself that what are the methods that is available to us, what you can simply do is that you can just click on this final list, and then you do a dot, this final list, and then you do the dot, and these are all the methods which is coming up, which is available for you to go and make use of. You can click on any of those, and then you get the documentation here also, right? So feel free to spend some time here, explore something so that you are aware all the important methods which is available in the collection. Now one important concept which is here is that if you have a list of items, you should have some way of sorting it, right? In the world of the data structures and algorithms, sorting has got this central place. What is the meaning of sorting, sir? Let's try to understand first of all what is the meaning of the sorting. Sorting means you are arranging the items in a logical order. The meaning of the sorting is that you're trying to arrange the items in a logical order. For example, when I go and say that I'm giving you numbers like 3, 9, 2, 1, 5, 4, and I tell you that go and arrange in the ascending order, it means that first of all you will go and put 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and then 5. When you arrange things in a logical order, many of the things, the decision making becomes very fast, because in this case, if I go and ask you which is the smallest, which is the largest, it's very tough. But if it is arranged, I can quickly say that smallest is 1, the largest is 9. Right? This is how you can go and find the results very quickly. So normally, if I have to go and sort numbers, the natural way of sorting the numbers is through the values, right? If I have to go and sort the strings, the natural order of sorting is alphabetically that could be sorted, right? Let's try to see with the help of the example. So if I go to my Eclipse here, right? If I come to my Eclipse here, fair enough. We're going to find another class here. We're going to find a class called as sorting, collection sortings, collection sorting. We're going to find a method called as public static void main string args. Let's say that I have a list and I have this list of the integers, right? And this is called as list new array list. Fair enough. Let me go and import this list. Import array list, import list. In this I go and quickly add few numbers. List dot add 7, list dot add 2 or 3, list dot add 11, and list dot add 5. Well, I've added the 5 numbers. Now at this point of time, if I go and print this list, right, if I go and print this and run it, it's printing 7, 3, 11, 5. It's in the same order in which it is inserted. But I would like to sort this list. I actually want that in this list the element should be in the ascending order. So it should ideally go and print me what? It should ideally go and print me first 3, then 5, then 7, and then 11. This should be the natural order of the printing. Fair, which I'm not able to do here right now. So what should I do? So what I'll do here is, there's something called as a collections class. There's something called as a collections class which has a sort method. So here if I go and make use of the collections class, I'm going to call it collections.sort, and here I go and pass. What do I pass? I go and pass this list. Once I pass the list, and then again if I go and print this list here, and if I go and run this, what it has done, it has arranged the elements in the increasing order. This is called as sorting. How the sorting has happened here? The sorting has happened here with the help of the natural order of values. We know that, and the Java knows that 3 is less than 4, 5 is less than 6, and based on that mathematical natural ordering, this has happened. Cool. Let's try to do the same thing for the another data type, for example string. So if I go and comment this part of the code, right, and I'm going to find another list of string, and I go and call it as names equals to new array list. Fair enough. And here I go and say that names dot add Vishwa, names dot add Mohan, and names dot add Abhilash. Right. At this point of time, if I go and print this sys out, if I go and run this, run as Java application, I will go and say print Vishwa, Mohan, and Abhilash as it is. If I want, I can go and actually sort this out. I can go and say that collections.sort, and I can go and pass here the names. And again, if I go and do this sys out, names. And if I go and run this, run as Java application, you see that it is sorted. So So in the case of the string, it is the natural order of the alphabets which help us to go and do the same thing. One more observation here, instead of the array list, if I go and make it as set, will this still work? Let me go and change this set, and let me go and call it as a hash set. I'll have to go and import set and the hash set, import set, import hash set. If you can try to see this, here in the sort method, I am getting this error. Why? Because set doesn't make sense. Set, there's a random order, there's no point of sorting it, right? So this will not work here in this case. So I can go and make use of the, typically I can go and make use of the, it has to be the list and the array list itself. Fair enough? So let's go and run this. And it is working all fine. Now let's try to see that what happens in the case of a user defined, what happens in the case of the user defined object. So let me go and comment this out. And let me go and define a user defined object. So I'll go and define a class called as class animal. Let's say we already have a class called as animal, right? So let me go and copy this. That was inside this class animal. Let me go and copy this code which I have written, and I'll go and put it here. Now if I go and define a list again, list, and I go and say that animal equals to animals equals to new array list this is how you want to find the animals. Okay, and then you go and add the animals. I think I already should have the code for that. Let me go and copy this from there and say that I have these animals. Let me go create this animal A3. Right? And what I do is that animals dot add A1, and I'll go and copy all of them, A1, A2, A4 and A5. Okay, and then I go to the collections. Let me go and put it as let's add only 3 animals so that it's simple. Let me only add this, and now I do this sys out animals just to see how they are looking up. So if I go and run this as this point of time, the natural ordering, right? First there is dog, the dog is coming first, then cat was added, so cat is adding second, and then the tiger was added, so tiger is coming third. Now what I do is that I can go and call it that collections.sort, and then I go and pass here animals. So when I go and pass collections.sort animals, this is throwing me an error. It's a compilation, it's not allowing me to go. Can you guys make a guess why? It is able to give me an error because normally I know that previously we have seen the integer and the string. In these two cases I was able to do the comparison, right? Integers, Java knew that the comparison will be done based on numerical values. In the string we do it with the help of the alphabetical values. But how do we compare two animals? I don't have a way of doing it, right? Which is bigger, which is smaller, which is equal to? That's not possible, right? So in order to achieve this, Java has provided a way which says that if you want a class objects to be compared so that you know which object is smaller, larger or equal to the another one, you have one of the way of doing is that you can go and make use of the comparable interface. You go and make use of comparable interface. Again, this is a very important interview question. Most of the times interviewers are damn serious concerned about this comparable interfaces. So what I go and do now is I will go to my class, and since I want this to be used inside the collections.sort, I have to go and implement an interface called as comparable. I'll have to go and implement comparable. Now as soon as I go and implement the comparable interface, what I'll have to do is that I'll go and implement a method called as compare to. As soon as I go and do this, I'll have to go and implement a method called as compare to. Fair enough. Now also this type animal is already defined somewhere else. Let me go and save this. Let me go and change this animals to animals. Now what I'll have to do here is in the compare to. So normally what happens? The compare to method will take another object, right? And that another object could be, say for example, I call it another other animal. You can call it as other animal, right? I go and say that let's say to compare the two animals based on the age. So I go and say that return this dot age minus other animal dot age, get age, and this should be, when I go into define the comparable interface, I'll have to go and set which type it is. So I go and say that it is of the type animal, animals, and if it is the case, then I have to go and provide this as the animal. So what I can do here is, right, so this is how it works, other animal, and this is how I do. Now in the case if, so what I'm trying to do here in this logic, I have said that I'm trying to compare based on the age. So if my age, right, so if this age will be greater, if this value turns out to be greater than 0, right, then it means that it means that it is greater. If it is equals to 0, then it is equal. If it is less than 0, then it is lesser. This is the whole philosophy here. Now since I have defined this method compare to, here I go and provide the animals. If I go and now run this, run as, you will see here that now the animals are sorted in terms of, if you can see here, the animals are sorted. If you try to see here in this example, I still have some error. Right? Let's try to see what the error is. So it should be not animal but animals. That's number one. And then once I do this, the error is gone. Fair enough. This looks fine. Now what I need to do is that after I have done this sorted, I have to go and print this again. Let me go and copy this system.out.println and try to run this. So before I ran the code, right, this is the natural order in which it was added, and after that I'm done the sorting based on the age. I'm able to see that first 7, then 11, and then 12. So it is working all fine. Great. So one of the way of sorting the user defined object is that in that class you have to go and implement a comparable interface. But this kind of change is little invasive, right? In this kind of change, when you have to go and sort, you have to actually make changes. One, you have to make changes in the class itself, make changes in the class. That's number one. That's one challenge. And the another challenge here that I see here is that you can only sort on one specific order, right? Sorting is just a logical arrangement of the items. It could be in the multiple order. Say for example, I could have sorted these animal based on their names. I could have sorted based on their age. So let's say that my requirement is that I want to go and sort based on multiple parameters. If I want to do that and I don't want to make any changes in the class itself, there's another way which is called as using the way of the comparator interfaces. There's another way which is called as a using comparator interface, right? So how do we do it? Let's try to see that. So another way of the sorting of this would be that I already have this class. Let me go and define another class. Let me go and call this as class animal comparator by name, right? And I go and that's implements comparator interface which takes animals. Fair enough. Let me go and do the import comparator. That's perfectly fine. And then I'll have to go and add the unimplemented method compare. So this animal O1, animal O2. And how do I go to compare? I want to go and compare with the help of the name. So I want to say that O1 dot get name dot compare to, and I go and say that O2 dot get name. Fair enough. So I have defined this comparator. And now if I want to go and sort it based on the name itself, right? So this is my, again what I'm going to do, I go and say that collections.sort, and I go and pass animals, and then I go and pass the new, and I go and say that animal comparator by name. And now if I go and again print this sys out, and I go and pass animals and try to rerun this again, you'll find that I have a different collection now, right? I have this whole collection of animals sorted based on the name. First C, then D, and then T. So with this we have understood that if I have to go and, if I want to go and sort collections, there are two ways of doing that. One is comparable interface. And for using the comparable interface, you have to go and make changes in the class. And there's only one way of sorting. Only one way of the sorting logic could be applied. On the other hand, there's another more flexible way, which is comparator. Right? It's done in the external class, and with this you can have the multiple logics of comparison defined. You can have the multiple logics of the comparisons defined. This is called as the sort collections. Cool. So far we have understood about the data structures. We can go and store the data in the linear fashion. So finally, sir, we are even done with the day 28. Now only 2 days are left. Most of the concept which is needed is already done. Let me know how comfortable and confident you are feeling with the interviews. And if yet not, the next 2 days I'm going to do something which will help you gain more confidence for the interviews. Today video we talked about a lot around the collection frameworks, the common methods that we go and make use of, for example, sort method, for example, the methods to traverse things. All these things we have done at today. How's your experience so far? Only 2 days left. Kudos to everyone who has continued from the day one. Put that into the comments, your experience, and I'll make sure that I go and keep on bringing more amazing videos for you people.